Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and Heath is at the Laker game. So I'm joined here by the next best Goldman, which is Riley Goldman, right here. Another super fan. This is the Week 9 recap of Jungle Talk.
Right.
Woo! And hey,
Right.
guess what we get to do? Now, I didn't grab the quacker because it's the Panthers. So I think you got to this wasn't like we did this to the Chiefs. So it's the Panthers. So I didn't grab the quacker. But still, guys, for one time, we didn't have to stress. They took control of this game. I mean, they played we'll go through the stats and everything, but they played nearly a perfect first half. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what else. Maybe Boyd's touchdown. Did you think that was a touchdown? I thought that was a touchdown.
I thought it was a touchdown. Bringing it in, hitting the goalpost or the
Pylon.
after. I mean, it was as close as it could be.
Yeah, but I didn't understand when you catch a ball and you hit the pylon with it. He hits the pylon with the ball.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And I started Boyd today. So I know I also started Mixon. So I know I'm kind of being greedy on the fantasy football level. But to me, I'm still fighting for my, this week to try to win. I sure could have used the Boyd touchdown. So I really felt like that was a touchdown. So obviously we're not going to have a lot of negative things to say. I mean, the Bengals came out and just took it to them. They took it early, and I was really surprised. My biggest surprise from the first half was just how ineffective Carolina was. I mean, I thought they tried to pound the ball after Chubb did all that to us. I just was surprised that we shut them down. You look at the stats. They had one first down. We had 21. I mean, you're talking, they only had the ball for 8 minutes of the first half. 8 minutes. We had it for nearly 22. So, I mean, it was just utter domination outside of like the Boyd, us not getting the call on that replay. I can't think of a lot of bad things that went down,
No, only a few penalties in the second half, but that's with our backup. So, I mean,
right.
First half, there really was not anything that we didn't do right.
No, it was one of those. It was for the first time ever. It was a picture perfect first half. One of the things, and I didn't comment on this with Jake or with your dad, but Mixon hasn't been seeing the field very well. It always sees, especially in the Cleveland game. I went back and I rewatched the quick clips on that. On DirecTV, you have it too, and there were times where he just bounced the wrong direction. So I thought maybe his vision hasn't been that good. It certainly was fine today.
Yeah. Our O line has definitely looked really good today. I mean, it definitely was not the D line we were expecting from Carolina. It was not the overall defense we were expecting from Carolina.
No,
especially the way they've been playing the last few weeks. But they looked good. Our O line definitely held the pocket for the most part and got some push when Mixon was going to run. I mean, there's nothing else you can ask for.
My biggest takeaway from the first half, and this is why it's so important for play selection and everything, is we had positive first downs. We were in 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 1. Even the 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, they're not negative. A couple times we did not complete anything on first down, but the majority of the time today we were sitting in 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5s. And it makes a difference on moving the sticks. And you saw the Bengals today also take the first down right away. When you're sitting there at a 2nd and 1 or a 3rd and 1, just Burrow sneaking, get the first down, give it to Mixon, get the first down. Let's not screw around anymore doing these gimmick plays, going long. Just keep. And once again, almost 22 minutes of the first half. I mean, it takes its toll on the other team. So, but
even with the gimmicky plays, we had the jet sweep work a few times, and the blocking on that, the scheme looked really good.
Yeah.
Bringing Taylor across with Wilcox and Higgins on the outside, big guys blocking, get some push, got the first down on one of them. I mean, or at least 9 yards on the first down. It looked good.
Yeah, we did not try any long passes today. If you think about it, most of the stuff was underneath to Higgins, 7 yards here. Boyd's, passes were tend to be under 15 yards. We did not try to stretch the field. We took what they gave us, and like I said, ball control and just grind it out. And when you score on almost every possession, you just, like I said, you just run away with it. And we put this thing away at half. Very happy to see Burrow out of the game in the fourth quarter. If he had gone back out there, I think I would have been screaming at my television, because that would just be, he gets hurt and something, he just didn't need to be out there. So at 42, it's like, yeah, get your baseball cap. Here's an iPad. Go have a seat. So very happy to see that. Great opening drive. And then Mixon today. Let's talk about Mixon, because he's taken a lot of flack. I keep reading stuff. Everybody's saying, put him Perrine. Mixon's lost it. 5 touchdowns today. He had, what was it? 3 rushing touchdowns, one
receiving in the first half alone.
Yeah.
Rushing in the second half. Before he came out for the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah, and he still had 100. I don't have his final stats. I didn't even print them out. I just printed out the first half stats, because basically that was the game.
Over 100 in the first half, for over 100 rushing yards, let alone another 50 or so receiving yards he had. Coming one underneath and then running it for 25 early on in the second half, or on the third drive of the game, I think.
Yeah, well, no, it was in the second half, but then that just put it away. That's when he comes around. He gets, I don't know, a 20 or 25-yard run. So one negative I want to talk about was Huber. I know he only had a couple punts today, but the one he had in the first half, he's not getting the distance. It may be time, to move on. And then the McPherson miss, whatever he has to do. I don't know if that was. I haven't rewatched the game, and I will, and I'll see if that was a high snap on the missed field goal. But it's the same kind of, he's hooking it left. There's something up with the timing of the snap, and I don't know if it was a high snap or what, but there's something going on. You have 2 weeks to work it out. Figure it out with McPherson. I don't know if it's the snapper. I don't think it's the hold. I think it's either the snap or the timing, but something's different. So we got to work that out, because we're going to need him coming out of the bye week. We've got we're the Steelers, and TJ Watt will be back.
Yeah.
TJ Watt has only played one game. It was the week 1, got hurt playing us. He hasn't played again. And of course, Murphy's Law, we're going to get him. He's returning, and we'll get him, because that's a completely different team. They get up for us anyway, and it's a completely different team when they have TJ Watt. But we have them, we've got the Titans, and then we've got Kansas City. So those are all, our back end of the schedule stacked.
Yeah.
So this is going to be important that we come out. But we're in the same situation. You and I, all of us, we went to Vegas for the Vegas game coming out of the bye, and that was really the start of this run. And it was the same situation, 5-4. Some questions, because last time we entered the bye week, we had lost to the Jets, given away a game in New York, and then got killed by Baker Mayfield on Monday night. Or I don't know if it was a Sunday night game, but it was a primetime game where we should have just destroyed. You thought that we were going to come out. This time, obviously, we didn't have the back-to-back losses, and it had to be a real somber week in the building. There had to be a lot of soul searching coming off that Monday night performance. So, but we're in the same situation we were last year. I know it was said during the game, but we're in the same situation. So we need to put a run together, and we've got a tougher string of games than we had last year.
We had a tough schedule last year, but it's not where it was this year.
No,
Steelers defense again, and this one being, I think, away, right?
Yeah, we had them in our house and lost. We were a long snapper away from winning that week 1 game, and all those little games hurt. Also, the fill-in games. Our fill-in games were Tennessee, Dallas. You look at, because we were a playoff team, those are fill-in games. So we have the tougher schedule. So at least on the fill-in games. So, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to them get healthy. We could get Hilton back. We can get Flowers back for sure. Reeder might be back by the Steeler game. And we never did put Chase on the IR, which means they didn't want to lock him down for 4 games. So that we've already sat out 2. So I don't know if he's back for the Steeler game, but certainly they think it's earlier than the 4 games, or we would have put him on the IR. So we just need to get healthy. Obviously we're not going to have a Awuzie back, but certainly our defense with Flowers and and Hilton today, getting them back. That was the one thing we didn't get to see today. So we have a big question mark going into the bye and our next week. This secondary was never tested today.
Yeah.
So
a little bit coming out of the second half, but
at that point, you're trading yards, you're giving stuff up. Just don't give up the big play. They were never really tested with crunch down. So, the other guys that stepped in, Apple had his moments. He had a couple good plays today. When they were thrown, the key to the first half was our defensive line got enough pressure on Walker to where, they never really, DJ Moore was never a factor. The passing game was never a factor.
I think DJ had 1 target in the first half, no receptions. I mean, that's unheard of for that guy.
Well, yeah, and like I said, and they passed more than I thought they would. I thought they would try to run on us, but our defensive line, like I said, put on enough pressure to where our secondary never got tested. So it was never an issue not having Flowers, not having Hilton today. The couple plays we needed, Apple, Bell, Bates, they were all there. So we never really got to see how we're going to weather stuff without Awuzie, because that's the big key is we've got to deal with the lack of our shutdown corner. So I don't know if anybody emerges. We're going to have to scheme differently, but definitely that was a question I wanted answered this week, and I'll take the win. Believe me, I'll take the easy win. I will take the not having to pull my hair out the whole game, at halftime, being able to just kind of go look at some other things fantasy wise and not be concerned about the Bengal game because we were up 35-0. But we never got to see that. So I'm really curious, at what we're going to see in a couple weeks. So,
yeah, I mean, we saw Cam Taylor-Britt through most of the game, didn't really hear his name until the 1 penalty, but it was he was being aggressive. I mean, he was pushed off a little bit and young. He's a rookie. You can't expect him to play perfectly coming off his, I think, first start, maybe second.
Right. No. It's that second start. He got his first one the other day when Apple was down. So, but he had seen more playing time. So I have to go back, like I said, because our secondary wasn't tested, I have to go back and kind of rewatch the plays, because when you're watching PJ Walker running for his life or us shutting down the run, you're not watching what the secondary is doing. So I have to go back and rewatch that, and we'll see what we saw. I know Jake will probably have some comments on Thursday, but that was it. The other thing I had was Burns plus pushing Jonah Williams back. I have major concerns because Jonah Williams has definitely taken a step back this year. And I just don't know if we need to target maybe a premier left tackle in either in free agency or in the draft, and maybe work Jonah Williams over to the other side. I just, there's concerns with what I saw, because when he faced Myles Garrett, there was no answer, even when he had help. And then today, their best pass rusher, Burns, he was just being pushed backwards. He wasn't low enough. The mechanics were, like I said, I watched that today. It didn't cost us anything, but it didn't cost us a game, or it wasn't even, the game was already in hand when that happened. But that still concerns me when I watch one-on-one our supposed, premier tackle just getting pushed right back into Burrow. That doesn't make me feel good. Coming off of a game where he was completely manhandled by Myles Garrett. This wasn't Myles Garrett. So Burns is a good player, but it wasn't Myles Garrett. So that concerns me.
It's definitely concerning with TJ Watt probably going to be back in that Steelers game, and Jones for the Chiefs in a few weeks. It's concerning.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. No, we spent so much money revamping this line that at this point in the season, I expected us to be dominant. At the beginning of the season, I put down a bet that Mixon would lead the league in rushing. Just figuring, that they become. And it's just, you're just shaking your head. Let's get back to Mixon for a second, though. So he has his breakout game today. He's seeing the field well. First time ever in franchise history, 5 touchdowns by a player. So he's got that they're not going to take that away from him. So, and then the 4 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, Mixon looked like a beast, and I think we have to work on that more. My big question was, why didn't we see more Chris Evans, especially when the game was in hand?
Well, I heard in the fourth them say the reason Mixon was still in during the fourth was because Evans was ruled out early in the game with an injury. I don't know what injury it was, but that's what I heard the announcer say. Haven't looked into it, but
all right. Well, we'll have to follow up on that. It's because this was a perfect opportunity to give him touches. When you're up like this, start getting these guys in that haven't seen real game time action. This is not like practice squad, or practice during the week. It's not like that. So, if you've got a chance to get these guys in, get these guys in. So, all right. Any other comments you want to make in terms of today's game?
I mean, just early on, Cam Taylor really wasn't targeted until the second half. They were kind of targeting Apple, who then made good plays, and we're banged up, but the defense played hard. I mean, if they're banged up but playing hard, that's all you can ask for. But,
well, you have different units, and like I said, the defensive line stepped up and did their job and made the job. You could see when a defensive line is doing its job, it's a lot easier in the secondary, and that's what we had today. So we really don't know what we have yet with our secondary, but obviously when it does return, we'll have we'll have Flowers and we'll have Hilton back, because those were not severe injuries, and maybe Reader. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm super excited. 5-4. We've got the Kismet where this is exactly where we were last year. So mentally they can go into the bye week with the psyche that we're going to come out and do what we did last year. But I want to temper it, and it was the Panthers. So this was the Panthers at home. This is a game, I always say good teams are supposed to win these games. We were supposed to win today. So I'm excited we did what we were supposed to do. But once again, we didn't do this to the Bills. We didn't do this to the Chiefs, so we didn't do this on a road game in Pittsburgh. So we've got to temper it and see what we come out with. So I just don't want to, I don't want to put too much on this, but, and I wish we could play the NFC South, the whole time, but we just got Tampa Bay left. But we're 3-0, and Burrow's got some amazing numbers against the NFC South. So, well, I'll be back we will definitely be doing some type of bye week show next week. So definitely tune in. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Please give us the thumbs up. It helps us out in the analytics. So please just bang that thumbs up. And we'll be back with a bye week show. I've got a couple things planned. So definitely tune in for that. Riley, thank you for coming in and doing this today. Riley, we had the pleasure. He was at the Super Bowl with us. He went the road trip to Vegas he was at last year. And then you went to the Carson game when we all went down to Carson to see the Charger game. So definitely part of our LA contingency. Thank you for stepping in for your dad today. And with that, I'm going to say, hoo-day, everybody.
Hoo-day.
Hoo-day. Take care.